what is your opinion of the state of NASCAR right now?
My opinion, I think the state of NASCAR, is in a really good spot. I came in 2008, and I felt like it was massively way up here, and I've seen it go down. I've seen the teams go down, but I feel like everything from the teams, the fans, drivers in NASCAR, I feel like we're continually climbing, and we're way past where I felt like we have been. Um, that being said, I mean, there's always room for improvement, and I think NASCAR
We're trending upwards
we're
now.
we're trending upwards. I think NASCAR is way more proactive now than they've ever been. You know, there's a lot of people that might not agree with everything that they do, but uh, they are innovative. They're working, and constantly trying to do things to continue to grow our sport. And I think every professional sport is doing the same thing. I mean, golf seems like it's in shambles right now. Yeah,
Yeah,
they're all
between
over
LIV
the
and PGA.
and so, I like that NASCAR, you can't just sit back and let it play out. You gotta go try new markets. You gotta go back to old markets. They've realized that's something that we had never thought about in the past as a sport, or at least, the top people in NASCAR haven't thought about going back to North Wilkesboro. There we did, great crowd. Obviously it's not a massive crowd compared to
It looks
uh,
good.
it looks good, but compared to like you could be half empty at Texas and still have more people. But it's about the excitement that North Wilkesboro brought to that weekend, and so I like the sport, and the state of the sport that we're in right now, and where we're going. A lot of old school fans, don't know about Chicago. We don't either. We're about to find out, right? So, NASCAR doesn't either. But if you don't try it and you don't go to it, you'll wonder about it. And I think they're doing a good job with it.
Yeah, okay, so the next one is, the next gen car. It is a game changer. We've never seen anything like it. Some people say it's based off the, Australian V8 type car, one lug nut, everything we just said. So what is your opinion on the new next gen car?
I think I think we've nailed the next gen car in areas, and then I think we've swung and missed in other areas, right? Again, NASCAR, um, still being proactive, which is good. They've taken a lot. They take a lot of input from the drivers and teams, especially the drivers with this new car. When we say, "Hey, these crashes are hurting worse," right? Um, when they built the car, they're like, "Hey, this is our car. This is what we're racing with. This is what we're moving forward. We're not changing it because we want this car to be the same from here on out." But they've listened to us, so I think we missed it a little bit on the safety aspect, overlooked some things,
It's
but
okay to say, Ricky.
yeah,
We had flat tires. We couldn't move out of the grass.
yeah,
We burning the bottom up.
yeah.
We're
But they're
hurting
but
people.
they're constantly changing them to make them right, and us as drivers appreciate them taking our advice, at least on some of the things, and then taking team advice on on certain areas of the race car. So yeah, I think we swung and missed on a few things. I think the competitiveness is unreal right now. I feel like
Off the charts.
you could
That's
show
why
up
we're doing
each
better.
each and every weekend. You don't know who's going to win. You really don't. And I feel like our sport was so predictive on
Yeah, Jimmy
hey,
Johnson was going to win.
we out of these five cars, they're one of these guys is going to win, and they're going to win 5 or 10 races, right?
Yeah.
The last season with the old car, Larson won what 10 or 11 races that year, and that can still be done with this car, but he's gonna that person's gonna have to beat different people every week, and so I think that's a good thing.
Yeah. All right. And so for the last one, we are in an era where we see unprecedented amount of fines and penalties. We have never, as we speak, we got another one coming out against Eric Jones. You're going to see it when you get off here. They messed with the greenhouse and, all these points and 75 every week. So they say the penalty money goes into the NASCAR Foundation. This year, the foundation is going to have more money than they've ever had. So, what is your opinion on the unprecedented fines and penalties in NASCAR history this year?
So, NASCAR, I would say, came out when they built this new car and designed it, gave it to the team, said, if you mess with it, it is going to be bad, right?
Yeah.
So, and we saw that, I think, from the very first race, with RFK and like them drilling out their wheels. I mean, they gave them $100,000 fine or whatever that penalty was. They started looking at everything, retracted that, but I mean, they were pretty clear right off the bat. And from everything that I've seen so far, a lot of the issues that they've had are pretty, blatantly obvious. Like, it's not like, hey, should we fine them? Should we not?
You may
It's like
just park by yourself.
you messed up, right?
Yeah.
And so, but it seemed, I would think that teams would learn not to do things after the first few penalties of
Right.
$250,000
A
or
lot of money.
whatever, and 100 points. But man, it doesn't seem like they're learning very much at all. So, us at JTG Doherty Racing, I feel like we've learned a lot throughout some of the tests that we've done, and there's definitely areas of the car you want to push, but I mean there's definitely areas that you do not want to go and mess with, and NASCAR is trying to make that clear, but it seems like people are still trying to push those limits. So, yeah, like you said, the NASCAR Foundation probably isn't going to have to do any charity events this year. They got them in tech, so they can cut their budget on charity events.
We'll end it like this. This new hooking. It seems that we've got that about halfway through the year here. NBC's taken over. Fox, has got one more race, and it seems like the front end is so strong on this next gen car that hitting people and spinning them out, you can't do it anymore.
That's
Do
right.
you think that's where the hooking technique, the is that why the hooking thing's so popular? Is that the only way to wreck people?
No, I think that's just because people get frustrated and mad, and that's the easiest way to wreck somebody.
Is there any other
So,
way to wreck somebody, Ricky?
yeah, that's the easiest way to not get yourself wrecked, right? Like, I mean, if you hit them in the left rear, you don't know which way they're going to spin, but if you hook them in the right side, they're going to the right, and you're going to the left. So,
Good point.
I feel like that's probably their thought process behind that, and it's definitely worked. I guess except for Chase, he caught himself up in it, but yeah, it's not good. Again, NASCAR listened to us about we feel like the cars need to be safer. So, in turn, when you got guys wrecking each other at the end of a straightaway, right hooking them into the fence, those are things where NASCAR is like, hey, y'all are complaining about the cars not being safe, yet y'all are going to wreck somebody intentionally the way you're doing it. We're going to step in. So, yeah, I think we kind of made NASCAR play their hand there a little bit.